A very good evening to all of you guys. Welcome to yet another virtual learning session for the 2024 advanced level batch in terms of economics. Right. So we did a quick audio and a video check earlier. So everything was in order. In terms of the lesson, right. In terms of the lesson, we are trying to learn, or we are about to start a learning on a very important concept in economics, one of the four main concepts in economics, that is opportunity cost. So in the previous session last week, we have written the definition, or we have learned a proper way to define what is opportunity cost. Yes, we have learned a proper way to define what is opportunity cost. So today we will discuss the concept of opportunity cost a bit further. We will look at the very important characteristics of opportunity cost, which will help us not only understand opportunity cost, but properly recognize the opportunity cost in a given situation, properly understand opportunity cost and identify opportunity cost as well. So we will have to spend a bit of time trying to be clear on the characteristics of what opportunity cost is. And once we are clear on these things, we will also learn what are the conditions. I have called this the recipe for opportunity cost. What are the conditions required for opportunity cost to be created? And there are certain situations in economics we learn that there would not be any opportunity cost. So we say situations of zero opportunity cost. So once we have covered these areas, we are able to move on and talk about another very important concept, a set of concepts known as economic goods and non-economic goods, or sometimes called free goods. Then two special types of economic goods are there that we will focus on, capital goods and consumer goods. So these are the areas we are trying to cover, and also we will try our best to attempt, or at least I will try my best to guide you guys in order to attempt some of the test your knowledge questions in this area, in this learning key. Right. I think you guys are clear on what we are trying to do with today's session. So with that, let's start off the learning, and let's try our best to have a productive virtual learning session, a very effective, focused virtual learning session. And I know all of you guys have properly set yourself up, right? You're sitting on a chair and you're in front of a table. You have kept your device properly. You have your notebooks, the study material, stationery, everything ready, so that we can have a really, really effective, productive virtual learning session. Also, I'm confident based on what we have discussed in the previous week and the following weeks before that, earlier classes, that you guys will be very much responsive. And when I ask a question, either an yes or no answer, or if I ask a question that requires you to select or pick an answer, maybe say what you think, you guys will respond very quickly, so that we can have a good a discussion, a communication during the 2 hours that we will be doing the class. Right. Okay, good. Excellent. So let's start with that. I'll start with the study material. I'll share the study material on the screen a bit, just to be clear. So we have written a note here, right? Basically, our first objective, the most important thing we wanted to do first was try and provide a definition for what opportunity cost is. Okay, so we have defined opportunity cost, and when we define opportunity cost, what we can do is, I'm sure this is how we have written it. the note. So correct me if I am wrong, right? Or if we have written something else or something different. So this is one way we can start the definition, or the introduction to the definition we can give for opportunity cost. Then maybe you have said alternatively, right? Alternatively, and written two more paragraphs or two more points, right? So all of these, am I correct, Kuta? We have written two more things here. Okay. If I can share the slides, I can show it to you quickly as well, right? But before I go to the slides, because there is a recap there, am I correct in your notes? Yes, maybe you guys can let me know. Yes, right. Okay. Some of you are confirming that. That's really good. So I will call those also one, right? So we have one option is this, right? Then there is another option, and we have written another option. So any of these could be the first part of your proper definition for the concept called opportunity cost. Then separately, we have written the second part of the definition. In another paragraph, we have written the second part of the definition. Okay. So the definition, I want you to have two parts. Always learn this properly. Two parts. First part has three options, three ways you can write it. The introduction to the definition for opportunity cost. Okay. And the second part, where we talked about the features of opportunity cost, right? Where we talk about the features of opportunity cost, where we say opportunity cost is a subjective concept, where we say opportunity cost is a real concept or real cost, where we say cost in economics is opportunity cost, and where we also say sometimes opportunity cost may include external cost. So where we have included these features, right? That is in the second part of the definition. In the second part of the definition. In the first part of the definition, where you guys are given several options, we have included these key terms, where we look at opportunity cost as a value, which we will learn is a real value, of the next or second best alternative foregone, right? Sacrificed when we make a certain choice. So we have covered all of the key terms in these two parts of our definition, right? So then we will also then, as I said in the introduction for today's session, we will go into the characteristics properly, right? So let me just go to the slides now. So the first few slides will be a recap, right? I'm sure you guys can see the slides full screen now. Am I correct? Yes, right. Okay, good. Excellent. Very good. Responses are very quick. So that's brilliant, right? During the 2 hours, every single one of you guys who are participating in the live session, some of your other virtual classmates might not be able to participate for the live session for obvious reason. There is a power cut and things like that in their areas. They will watch the recorded version. Those of whom who are here, all of you guys who are in the live session, every single one of you should make sure that whenever possible and whenever required, you guys respond to what I'm asking. Okay, right. Moving on. So we talked about goods, services, bads, right? You guys remember these concepts that we have covered, right? Goods are anything tangible that can provide a satisfaction. Services are anything intangible that provides satisfaction. Bads create negativity or dissatisfaction. We looked at we are looking at opportunity cost, but opportunity cost is one of the 4 concepts. The first being scarcity. So we have discussed scarcity in detail, right? And we know how to define scarcity as well now, right? As the limitedness or inadequateness of a given society's stock of productive resources or productive stock of resources in comparison to unlimited human wants. We know scarcity is the central problem in economics, right? The scarcity is the reason for all the other economic problems, and scarcity is a universal problem. That is, it affects every single country, society, individual in the world. Right. Then we looked at the concept of alternative uses, right? And we said the alternative uses of resources or resources having multiple or more than one productive use, a given resource or combination of resources having more than one productive use is one of the main reasons that we are forced to make a choice, or that we are facing trade-offs, problem of choice, okay, along with scarcity and alternative uses. It is what creates a problem of choice. Then last week we looked at the concept of choice as well, right, which is a result of relatively scarce resources with alternative uses. So we have covered the two reasons for choice as well there. And we know every society in the world, when they allocate resources, when they decide what to do with their scarce resources, they have to make choices. And three broad choices every society, every country in the world has to make, which are the choices, the questions they have to answer would be what to produce in what quantity, how to produce, and whom to produce. I explained the problems of what, how, and whom to produce, right? What, how, and whom to produce. In order to, I explained it using the analogy, the example of saying that every society, every country in the world has to make a cake, and we have to decide what kind of a cake to make. We have to decide how to make the cake, manually or using machinery and things like that. I mean, how to mix and do everything. And also whom to produce, how to distribute, how to cut and divide the cake, who gets how much of the cake, right? You guys, I'm sure will remember that analogy, that example, and remember the problems of what to produce, how to produce, and whom to produce, right? Then we go into a quick recap. The economic problem has the economic problem that makes up this very important jigsaw puzzle has four components. Three components in ash color we have already covered. Today we are going to go into detail in the one component, one piece of the puzzle that is left, that is opportunity cost. So last week we wrote these notes, right? And also we wrote a second part of the note, I mean the definition that I explained earlier. So today we are going to start to look at the characteristics, okay? Right, so we'll learn opportunity cost through the characteristics. I'll read this once with you and then we'll look at the characteristics. Then one of your virtual classmates is asking for a clarification. Sir, how to download the previous study material from the web? Can we download it? When you refer to study material, Aisha, what do you mean, Putta? Do you mean the PDF of the slides? Now, this hard copy of the study material that your friends, the other virtual classmates have, this particular book, which is the first study material kit that I have provided for Unit 1, this is only available in the form of a hard copy. So what you need to do is to collect this, get in touch with our coordinators, use the, I'm sure you are in the WhatsApp group, so you can call that number. Yes, Aisha, I need to just check that with you, Putta. Are you in the WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Then Putta, just, sorry. I couldn't.
Yes, sir. I'm there in the WhatsApp
group. Do you have this book with you?
Yeah, I have the book, but I missed some notes. That's what I wanted to download the previous slides.
Okay, this is how it goes, Putta. You can get the slides, but even the slides, right? This is done because I'm trying to do this virtual classes as much as possible in the same way that I would do the physical classes, right? Of course, there are some special advantages you guys get as virtual students that the physical students don't get. That is one such advantage is the PDF version of the illustrative slides that I am using, you get. But what is given to you in terms of the slides, the PDF is the student version of the slides. So even in the slides, the things that appear in blue color when I do the class, when I share the screen on our virtual whiteboard, now you can see in this slide, there are 2 points that are in blue color, Puta. Those are not there even in the PDF version of the slides that you get, because that is the student version, right? Now, but that part is done to make sure that you guys participate, you write notes, that aspect is important, right? Writing is an important pillar of learning. So I hope you get that. All of you guys get that. Then, but another advantage that the physical students do not get, but you guys get as virtual students is, when you miss a session, you have a recorded version. You have a recorded version. When you go to the Mind-Hub website, right, you can go to your respective classroom, you log in with using your student login, you can log in. Then there is a heading, there is a tab there that says recorded catch-up sessions. So once you click on recorded catch-up sessions, it will open up to a page. And now today is 1.8. So up to 1.7, we will have the updated recorded version of the session. The full session, the recorded session is there. Even today's session, I'm recording by, right? So I missed the last session. I couldn't find the recording. Okay. We can check into that. That's something we can do, right? So remember, the recording is sometimes we make it available in the WhatsApp group because you guys are very new and there are some new students who are joining newly. So for them, we are just making the links, the direct link for the YouTube videos of the recorded sessions available in the WhatsApp group. But mainly where you find the recorded version is in the website. Okay. So, right. So just check. If it's not there, we will definitely, I will look into it, right? Soon after your class is done, I will check with the coordinator. There's a technical coordinator. I will talk to that person and check. I will also check on the website and I will do the needful. Okay, don't worry about that. Last 2 weeks, okay. Another student is also confirming. Thank you for that, Buddha. Right. Okay. So there is something going on there. I'm sorry, I was not aware of that. So last 2 weeks. So Aman is telling us last 2 weeks recordings weren't available. So okay. Thank you. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I will talk to the coordinator. It should be available, right? It should be available. Normally what happens is on the same day, that is Friday itself, but at night, I upload it to the system. And by Saturday, Sunday, at least definitely by Monday, we expect it to be we expect to make it available to the students. So if that hasn't happened, there is a certain problem from our side. So then we will look into it and I will ask them to get it done. Okay, right. So, right. Okay, but we'll work on that. So through the recorded version, you can definitely catch up everything and write the notes. Don't worry, right? Okay. Right. So good. Thank you for that. Okay. Now, the opportunity cost is the value of the, now I'm going through the first part of the definition. Then the second part of the definition anyway looks at the characteristics. No, so we'll learn it that way. Right. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative sacrificed or foregone. So these words are critically important when someone would, they appear in all three forms, all three alternatives, right? All three alternatives that we have here, 1, 2, and 3. These words commonly appear. So let's capture them and try to be clear on them. So opportunity cost is the value, right? Opportunity cost is the value we give, right? For anything, the way we can measure something is we have to give a value. Okay, we have to give a value either in monetary money terms or in real terms. Somehow we have to give a certain importance. Then only we can know whether when we sacrifice it. When it increases, decreases, so we have to give a value, right? So, and this is very important. It's always the next best alternative. Opportunity cost is never everything we give up, because we have to be logical here, no? We have to be practical here. When we make a decision, we might, when we choose something, when we make a choice, while we select one thing, we might give up many things. And practically, we will not be able to do all of the things we give up. No? Always, we can only select one thing. We can only make a choice about one alternative. That doesn't mean that we are actually or practically giving up all the other alternatives. Anyway, we wouldn't have been able to. Anyway, we wouldn't have been able to attain or achieve all the alternatives. So a very important thing when we understand the concept of opportunity cost is it only focuses on the value of the next best. Now, this is where we sometimes say, instead of the word next best, we use the word. So I'll just write that term also because it's commonly used sometimes. We say second best. So we say next best or second best, right? Alternative. So that's another important word. Opportunity cost is created when we make choices amongst alternative, right? Alternative. Sacrificed. A good word we like to use is foregone, given up, sacrificed. So it is the value of the next or the second best alternative, second best option that we have foregone, that we couldn't have got, the value we couldn't get because we didn't select it, because we chose something else. Okay. When a choice must be made. So when a choice must be made, right, that means we are forced into something. Because we can't do everything, we are forced to make a choice. Get it? Right. Now that a choice must be made, the word choice is key. The word choice is key, right? So when we say a choice must be made, right? Opportunity cost is only created when a choice is made. But that choice has to be a choice that we do not have an option. A choice must be made. So the word must here is trying to give us an indirect idea. Indirectly, it is trying to tell us that we are making choices about scarce resources, right? Scarce resources that have, so I'm going to say with alternative uses. Only when you have scarce resources with alternative uses, what becomes unavoidable? Choice becomes unavoidable. Choice becomes a must, or we say we have an essential trade-off. We have an essential trade-off. When you face an essential trade-off, to get one thing, if you have to give up something else, out of the things you give up, which we call the alternatives, the best alternative, out of the things you give up, the second best alternative, the next best alternative, but the simple meaning of all that, if you didn't choose what you chose, what you would have done? What is the next thing you would have done? The value of that alternative is your opportunity cost. The value of that alternative is your opportunity cost. Is it clear? Are we okay? Yes, the basic idea, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. Excellent. So you guys are very responsive today, which motivates me also to have a very energetic class. Brilliant. Right? So all of you have taken it into your mind to show that you're there, show that you're with the class and participate. Brilliant, Buddha. Right. So the next two points, which are alternative ways to say the same thing that is said in the first point. Is that clear? Right. Now we know what are the keywords we should use when we explain when we define or give an introduction to the definition. Let's call it the first part of the definition of opportunity cost. I'm very comprehensive, very careful, Buddha, when I give you guys definitions. Okay, I read everything I need to read. I look at all the marking schemes. Sometimes I talk to your professors also and make sure the definitions I give you are perfect. Then what I do is I identify the most important words in the definitions and share those with you much as possible. At least I will highlight them in the definition. And then I will tell you, this is what I'm about to tell you, that at your level, in A levels, when you're asked for the definition of concepts, try to write the definitions that we learn perfectly, exactly as it is, because they are very complete definitions. Okay, right, and use these words. Good. Then we'll move on. Let's talk characteristics of or features of opportunity cost. How do we identify opportunity cost? What are the key things we should know about opportunity cost? Right. What to know and focus on when discussing opportunity cost. Right. First and foremost, opportunity cost is highly subjective. Right. Now, when two people make a decision about alternative uses, even though the alternatives are the same, what is the best alternative or the chosen alternative for one individual? What is the second best alternative for that individual? And so if we have two individuals, Putha, right? If we have two individuals, we'll say we have two people, right? We'll say we have, A and B, right? A and B. Okay. So we have A and we have, right? We have B, right? A also has hands, right? So if we have two individuals, A and B, okay, A and B, and we'll say, right? So if A and B are to make some, are given some options, we'll say the alternatives are the same, Putta. Alternatives are the same, but still I'm trying to explain the subjectiveness of opportunity cost, right? It's two things we have to be very clear on, right? So they are given certain alternatives, right? We'll say both A and B have rupees. You guys need to help me with this now. Have rupees, we'll say 150 with them, right? In cash. So they have gone for a class, we'll say a physical class or something, right? And during the break, the interval, they want to buy something from the canteen or the tuck shop there, in the cafeteria there, right? So they are both thirsty and hungry. What can we buy if you're thirsty and hungry? Give me some alternatives, right? Give me some alternatives. Maybe you can buy, we'll say if you're hungry, you can buy a fish bun. Yeah, you can buy a fish bun. And maybe you can also have a packet of Milo. Is that okay? Yes, would that be a good combination? Yes, right. Okay, a cool drink. Yes, good. Christine, good. What else? So cool drink can maybe give me something to eat, a food item also. Maybe we'll say, we'll say, I don't know, Chinese or spring or whatever. Yes, maybe a roll and a cool drink. Right? Coca-Cola or something. I don't know, whatever fancies you. Another option could be maybe, let's see, some answers I'm getting. Pastry and iced coffee. Okay. Maybe, pastry and iced coffee. Right? Iced coffee. then maybe maybe a piece of cake, and maybe all of a sudden, if you are a bit health conscious, a bottle of water. These are all options, no? So I think we have a few. We are okay. Yeah. Sorry. I think we are okay with the alternative. A sandwich, yes, yes, all of those, right? Burger, right? Hopefully the canteen has these things, right? Some of the institutes I do physical classes, the canteens are not very good, right? Okay, good. So, but I think we are okay. We have a few options. Yeah, right. Now we have our participants, no, our A and B are there to help us. Now we'll say what A would choose as the first alternative and what B would choose as the first alternative. Yes, what A and B would choose, right? You guys can just think of what I'm saying here. We have B, right? But A and B would choose, right? Would it be the same? Now we'll say, for example, A chooses, right? A chooses to go for the fish bun as the first alternative, meaning the selected alternative, chosen alternative. And if you ask if you ask A, if you didn't buy a fish bun and a Milo, what would you buy? Second best. If you didn't buy a fish bun and a Milo, what would you buy? A would say, okay, if I didn't buy a fish bun and a Milo, I'm going to go for a, then I was in the mood for something savory, so I went for fish bun and Milo. If not, I would go for maybe the pastry and the iced coffee. So that is my second best alternative. Okay, right. You ask the same question from B. B says, if I didn't go for, B says, first make the chosen thing, no? Right? B says, I will go for the, we'll say no, B also can go for the first thing, that can happen, but just I'm saying, we'll say B says, I will go for the roll and the cool drink as my first alternative. If not, I will go a bit healthier, right? I don't know how healthy cake is, but I will go for the cake and the bottle of water as my second best alternative. Can happen, right? Now, first thing you can see is, Putta, the second best alternative is what represents, remember, second best alternative is what represents the opportunity, right? Opportunity cost. Second best alternative is what always represents the opportunity cost, right? The opportunity cost for A and opportunity cost for B in terms of the second best alternative, is it the same or different? For A, it is the pastry and iced coffee. Whereas for B, it is the Coke. It is the Coke. Cake. What am I saying? Cake and the bottle of water. Cake and the bottle of water. Are you with me? So are you clear that the first thing we can see is the second best alternative might not be the same, even for the same set of alternatives, because it can change from person to person based on their preferences. So opportunity cost is not objective, it's subjective. It's not the same for everyone. It's different from person to person. Are you guys with me? How the second best alternative can change, which means opportunity cost, right? The real cost can change, right? Okay. Now we'll quickly change this a bit to explain another reason why we say it's subjective is, we'll say, Buddha, right? We'll say when it comes to B, right? We'll keep A bit constant below, right? We'll say when it comes to B, okay? B also chooses fish bun and Milo as the first. B also chooses pastry and iced coffee as the second. Okay, right. Yeah. Okay, good, Buddha. Keep responding. And B also chooses, right. B also chooses, so A and B, they are first chosen alternative, and the second best, which means the opportunity cost in terms of the goods are the same. In terms of the goods are basically the same. Yes or no? Now the same thing. But still, the argument is this. Still, right, even though the opportunity cost, the second best alternatives are the same. For both, the second best alternative is pastry and iced coffee. Still, Buddha, the value, right? Now, opportunity cost is the value. Remember, we learned it that way, no? Value of the second best alternative. The value that, right? The value for the second best alternative, the value for the second best alternative given by B for pastry and iced coffee, and the value meaning here, Puta, not the money value actually. It is the satisfaction, it's that importance you think you will give something. The value A would give and the value B would give for the same foregone or sacrificed second best alternative, you can never say it's going to be exactly the same. Why? A and B are two different people. Their values are different. The way they value things are different. Get it? So even that way, we can say opportunity cost is subjective. Opportunity cost is never objective in nature. It's subjective. Changes from situation to situation, person to person. Are you guys clear on the very important characteristic of opportunity cost known as subjectiveness? Right? Good. Brilliant. So that's that. So that part is done. Let me, yep. Okay, so I'm getting good responses. I want that to continue, and I want all of you to respond, please. Okay, if you're not clear on anything, please ask Puta. If not, there is no other way I can ensure that I do my job properly. We talked about this last week. I'm not going to go into it again, right? Response is key, right? Then we say opportunity cost is a real concept. Opportunity cost is a real concept. Always remember, Puta, opportunity cost is not just looking at the money value of things, right? Now, if I ask you in our earlier, I unfortunately erased it. If I ask you in the earlier example, what is opportunity cost, right? Now it's 150 rupees. No, we had, right? So you guys understand, no, we can why those became the fish bun and the Milo, then the roll and the cold drink, pastry and iced coffee, cake and the bottle of water. Why they became trade-offs, alternatives? Because we only had 150 rupees, right? The 150 rupees is the scarce resource with alternative users in this case, right? Now, but the thing is this, if I ask you what is the opportunity cost of, right? If I ask you guys in that example we had earlier, what is the opportunity cost of A choosing a fish bun and a pack of Milo? If someone would answer by saying it is whatever the next thing, or next best combination of a food item and a drink, A could have bought 450 rupees. Now, someone could say that way, no, but someone could say, when I ask what is the opportunity cost of A buying fish bun and a Milo, what is the opportunity cost? Someone could answer by saying the opportunity cost is whatever the next thing, whatever the next food item and the drink, beverage, A would have bought for 150 rupees. If someone responds that way, then that person is saying, right? That person is saying that opportunity cost is a monetary concept. Opportunity cost is not a monetary concept, right? So opportunity cost is, okay, I should have written it that way. Opportunity cost is, so what we're trying to say is, it is not a monetary. Monetary, the word is actually money. Opportunity cost is not a monetary or a money-based concept or cost. So when someone says the opportunity cost of A buying a fish bun and a Milo is basically whatever the other food items A could have bought for 150 rupees, then they have misunderstood the concept of opportunity cost. Concept of opportunity cost is not the money involved in the decision, right? We will use money and measure, that's okay, no problem. But the real meaning of opportunity cost is it's a real concept, it's a real cost, real concept or a real cost. So what that means is, the opportunity cost is always given in terms of either goods or material, right? Goods or material, something materialistic, something that you have actually given up, a good or a material given up, right? Or we say foregone. Is that clear, my intelligent students? So opportunity cost is a real concept. It's not just it's not about the money that is involved there. It's not about the money you are going to spend on the next best alternative. It is what are the goods, services, what are the material things that you gave up for the next best alternative. If a person had 1 million rupees, or if a person had 1 million rupees, could have bought a car, could have bought a piece of land, could have bought, I don't know, maybe a generator, right? Maybe a generator, something like that, right? We'll say those options are there. So if a person chose to buy a car, right? Hopefully petrol can be found. If a person chose to buy a car, then the opportunity cost is not the other things the person could have bought with 1 million. No, the opportunity cost is, you have to ask the person, okay, if you didn't buy the car, would you have otherwise bought the, right? If you didn't buy the car, right? Chose an alternative. Would you have otherwise bought the piece of land or the generator? If that person says the generator, then the opportunity cost is the generator. The benefit you could have got from the generator. So you have to give that item, give that good or material thing that you have foregone. Is that clear? Opportunity cost is a real concept. So now it's on your side. Is it clear? Okay. Opportunity cost is not merely the money, right? So here I need to quickly jump to the study material a bit. Okay, and read this part with you guys. Opportunity cost in economics is a real concept. Opportunity cost in economics is a real concept. Okay, the word real. Let's see. Opportunity cost is measured and expressed in terms of goods or materials, and not in what terms? Monetary terms. So that's clear. Therefore, it is called the real cost to distinguish. What does the word distinguish mean, Putta? It means to separate. We are trying to separate opportunity cost and say, no. Opportunity cost is not a money thing. It's a real thing. Get it? Right. From money cost. Distinguish from money cost. A real cost in terms of goods, materials, foregone, and known as economic. Also, we sometimes call it simply opportunity cost, economic or actual cost. Opportunity cost is the actual cost. Get it? Because that is what you are giving up actually. Right. Good for you. Then jumping back to the slides. Right. Next, we say opportunity cost is opportunity cost may involve an external cost. No element of external cost can be there. Is this disturbing you guys? We'll remove this. Right. Subjective, real, external cost. Right. Now, but just a quick explanation on this. When we engage, when any person, right, engage in an economic activity, a person engaging in the activity, right? So we say economic activity. So economic activity could be consumption activity, or mainly it could be a production activity. Of course, we have learned the key economic activities are production, exchange, and consumption. Here, we are looking at these two things, consumption, production, right? Exchange is to connect these two, production and consumption. To connect them only, we need exchange, right? Economic activity. So the person engaging in an economic activity is known as the instigator. We call this person the instigator. Who is the instigator? Person engaging in an economic activity. A person engaging in an economic activity. Right. We didn't take this as a combination in our earlier illustration, right? But we'll say someone, not you guys, another student goes and buys from the canteen a cup of yogurt and then maybe some kind of a drink, right? The cup of yogurt or cup of yogurt, we'll say. You buy a cup of yogurt, you know, the nutritious option, you know, with the prebiotics and everything. You buy a cup of yogurt. So this individual eats the yogurt, right? Drinks the water or whatever that was bought and all that. After finishing the cup of yogurt, after taking all the possible yogurt out of the cup, you know, right, with the spoon thing, right? This individual, unlike you guys, in a very irresponsible way, right? In a very irresponsible way, just throws that cup of yogurt to the side of the road and comes. Okay, right. Now what happens with when it rains, the cup of yogurt will collect water. Once a cup of yogurt collects water, what happens? We have created a really nice, pleasant habitat or environment for whom? Nice, clean cup of yogurt. You cleaned it well when you ate the yogurt. We'll say the individual, not you guys. Right? Yes. Now you have created a very good environment for a mosquito. Very good. Yes, mosquitoes to breed. Yes or no? Now the mosquitoes are breeding in this cup of yogurt. Mother mosquito comes and, you know, a family, you know, the starter family, newly married mosquito couple comes and occupies this your cup of yogurt. I mean, that student's cup of yogurt that was thrown irresponsibly. So they start a family. Now mosquito kids and all that is there, and you know, everything happens, right? So they now this small mosquito terms punchi Paula situation, right? So these mosquitoes, what they do is, there is now next to the institute, yes, neighboring the institute, there is another house. In that, let's say there is a newly married human family where they have an infant, a small kid, you know, newborn, you know, small kid is there. So parents are very caring, protective, all that. But, you know, mosquitoes also have to live. The mother mosquito has to give nutrition. So all that, and, you know, they go and the mosquitoes, you know, fly and, right, you know, they what do you call it, sting or bite or whatever the kid. And you know what happens next? Obviously, you guys know the process here. So the kid, the infant falls ill. Then the parents have to rush to the hospital. Then they do some testing and whatever it is, dengue antigen most probably. And they realize the kid, the small infant, the baby has contracted dengue fever, dengue fever, right? And, they spend about a week in hospital monitoring and, all that, the process now, but all that happens. And the father of the baby, not the father mosquito, the father of the baby, right? Now, okay, we'll assume how much is a cup of yogurt, by the way? I haven't bought individual one in a long time. It's about 100 rupees. Maybe you guys can help me. You guys eat yogurt? No? As a policy, you guys don't eat anything healthy? No. Lactose intolerant? Anyone? How much is a cup of yogurt? Ayyo. No. Don't run to the fridge now at home just to check. If you can, don't run. Right? How much is a cup of yogurt? Right? 50, 75. Does it change based on the brand? Right? Okay. We'll say 75 rupees for the, yeah, just to get the example going. Now the cup of, right, the yogurt cup, right, was, we'll say rupees 75. Now that's the cost the instigator incurred. No, person who bought the cup of yogurt, eat it. So the activity was consumption, right? You buy a cup of yogurt, eat it, throw it away. The whole story happens. You are home and nice and happy, right? Making a, I don't know, a TikTok video about yogurt or whatever. That's okay. You're at home. But now, because of that whole process, right, the father of that infant, yes, is given a bill from the hospital, right? So the medical, right, the medical bill, okay, the medical bill or the hospital bill, so we'll say we don't know exactly, but I'm assuming it's very expensive these days. So the medical bill works up to about, we'll say, rupees 150,000. 1 to 1.5 weeks in hospital, medicine, all that. Right. So works up to about 150,000. So my intelligence students, right? What is the total here? Now the total works up to, you really think, now, okay, the instigator's cost, right? The cost to the instigator is what we call the private cost. Private cost. What is the instigator's cost? Rupees 75. That is what you spent. Then because of the activity, right? There is, because of the activity, so the instigator gets a benefit, but because of the activity, right, an external party, that is the parents of that child and the infant, they had a cost. That is called the external cost. Because you didn't throw away I keep saying I'm very sorry. That other student didn't throw away the cup of yogurt properly, dispose of it properly, responsibly. External cost, that is amounting to rupees 150,000. So the cost to the instigator and cost to the external party together, both together, is what we call the cost to the society. We call the social cost. What is the social cost? That is the answer you get here as well. Very good. The social cost is 75 plus 150. What is the 150,000? What is the social cost then? 75 rupees and 150,000. What is the social cost? Just do a calculation, man. What is this? Right. Very good. Yes. Excellent. The social cost is 150,075 rupees. 150,075 rupees. Right? Yes or no? So the social cost is a massive, 150,075 rupees. So, but in economics, right? Hopefully you guys are clear. In economics, since we have to consider not only the price, so from an economic point of view, from an economic point of view, we have to think about the private cost, we have to think about the external cost, and we have to think about the social cost, right? So in other words, in an economic point of view, our focus in an economic point of view, don't think our opportunity cost should consider the external cost. So in economics, we can't just look at the 75 rupees. We have to consider the 150, and then we have to realize, right, that the actual cost to the society from this activity is the social cost, and it's 175,000 rupees. Now, why does the social cost include the 75 also? Because the person who bought the cup of yogurt is also a member of the society. So the cost they incur has to be there. But not only that, because of what they did, their consumption activity, if there is a cost or a benefit, it could be a cost, it could be a benefit for the society, then consider that also, include that as well. So that's why we say may include external cost. So opportunity cost in economics is opportunity cost, right? That's another thing you have written. Cost in economics is opportunity cost, and opportunity cost may include in certain situations not only the private cost, but also the what cost? External cost. External cost. Are we clear? Got the idea? Don't worry, the infant is okay now, safely at home, right? Parents are extra precautious now, taking care. And the mosquito family has been relocated. They anyway have left the house. The mosquito kids have got bigger. They now have their own families because mosquitoes have a very small, short life cycle. Right. Okay. Done? Done. Okay. Good. All of you guys are clear, Buddha? Yes, we are okay. Can I get all of you to respond? Yes, got the idea. External cost. Right. And remember, we really learn. Yeah, I should mention that also. Otherwise, there might be a small misunderstanding. My intelligent ladies and gentlemen, there is a concept known as externalities. What is it called? Externalities. So this concept known as externalities is an important area of learning in economics. This is one of the main reasons that the markets fail, market systems fail and become inefficient when they allocate resources. Don't worry about all this. We learn in Unit 8 of the syllabus. Unit 8 is government economics. There we will learn a concept called externality. So all this we cover properly there. Okay, right, Unit 8. So yeah, I think you guys will agree with me that we can confidently tick this box as well. Right. Then we say, okay, then we say there are few further features, but one of these features, it should be actually here. It is not mentioned here, which is a mistake from my side, right? Maybe it should have been mentioned before the third one. Either way, we say cost in economics is opportunity cost. Cost in economics is opportunity cost. For us in economics, when we say cost, we mean opportunity cost. Right? After some time in our subject, when we learn economics, you don't need to say opportunity cost. When you just say cost, you guys have to think opportunity cost. Okay? Right. Then there are a few other concepts here, but out of those, I really want to talk about one more thing in a bit more detail, then we are done. Okay? Because I feel many students have a bit of a misunderstanding with that concept. That's the only reason I want to talk about it a bit more. Right. Cost in economics is opportunity cost, right? It's in your study material, but all these I explained. Now here, this point, right? let's talk about this point here. I'll highlight it this way, Vilu, for now. Right, includes monetary cost and foregone income. What does this mean? Monetary cost and foregone income. Both are included. What does that mean? See, but especially this is relevant when we engage in production. We will have something called production cost. Now remember, cost in economics is total, I'll just use the word total, opportunity cost. Cost in economics is opportunity cost. We are clear on that, no? So when we estimate the production cost, we have to understand that we will have a money cost as well as a foregone income when we produce anything. My intelligent students, when you want to produce anything, right? When you want to produce anything, you will have to use inputs. No? Without inputs, you can't produce anything. Agreed? Right. Some of the inputs we use in production are bought from, purchased from, I'll use the simple word, outside parties. We buy inputs from outside parties. Raw materials, labor that we need, the capital assets that we need, the electricity that we need, the water that we need, telephone and other things that we need. Get what I'm saying? We transportation, sometimes we take loans from banks. All of these different things we need to produce, we can take or buy or borrow from outside parties. Get it? So when we have inputs within our production process that we have bought, purchased, rent, leased from outside parties, it will involve a monetary. Remember the word monetary. What does it mean? We have learned money. Yes, money. We will have to incur money cost because outside parties or any other business or any other party, who is not, they're not going to give us these inputs we need from them. They're not going to give it free of charge. We will have to pay them and incur a cost. That cost in economics is called, either we use the word direct or we use a nice word called explicit. What is the word, Putta? Explicit cost. So always when we engage in production, we have to buy inputs from outside parties and there will be an explicit cost or a money cost we have to pay. Is that clear? Are we okay up to now? We can't engage in production without inputs, and most of the inputs actually we buy from outside parties. Are you guys with me? Yes, so there is going to be a explicit cost or a money cost we have to incur. That has to be part of the cost. Cost in economics is opportunity cost. So it has to be part of the opportunity cost, that money cost we incur on the goods and services, right? And end of the day, they are also, Putta, don't think now all of a sudden, earlier I said, no, it's a real concept. Now I'm talking about the money cost and all that. No, they are also, we are looking at the other goods and we are looking at the goods and services we are buying as inputs, right? It's still real, right? Okay, then by the way, I don't want you guys to get too confused with this, okay? Because this is something we learn properly in Unit 4. Maybe I can mention that also. So really we learn this area in Unit 4. Okay, we talk about opportunity cost again in Unit 4. There we will learn in detail. For now, I want you to know this as a characteristic or feature because in questions from Unit 1, they have tested this. So I have to be clear. Right. So includes money cost, right? That is the outside inputs, the cost we incur, explicit cost. Money cost is considered as a part of the total cost, total opportunity cost. Cost in economics is opportunity cost. Then, Buddha, sometimes there are certain inputs we use in production. These inputs are the business's own inputs. Someone could say internal, or the business's own inputs are there. These inputs, they don't buy from outside. They are from the owner or the business's own inputs. Now, for example, if I have a bakery, I don't know why bakery, maybe because we talked about fish bun and all that. We'll say I have a bakery and the bakery is run in my, bakery, no, right? The bakery is run in my own building, own house, side of the house. There is another separate building It's my own building. So I'm not paying rent. I'm not paying a lease. It's my own building. Got it? So I'm using my own building to run my own bakery. So it's a own input, no internal input that I'm using within the business. But the thing is, Pata, we should understand the building might be my own. I might be using the building in my own business, but still I can't say just because I don't have a money cost, just because I'm not paying anything to anyone else, I can't say there is no opportunity cost. There is an indirect cost, or we call this implicit cost. Implicit. When you don't say something directly, implying implicit cost. There's an indirect cost. What is the implicit cost? Instead of using, just listen to this, it's very easy. Instead of using the building for my own business or the bakery, if I had rented the building to someone else, or if I had rented the building for another business, I could have earned a rent income. Yes or no? I could have earned a rental income. That rental income I can't earn now because I chose to use the building for my own business. So I am foregoing an income, rental income. That foregone rental income for using my own building in my own business is also a cost. It is an implicit cost, and I am foregoing an income. That income I have to consider as an opportunity cost. Cost in economics is opportunity cost. I have to take that. If it's 50,000, 100,000, whatever, I have to take that as a cost. Now, one more example, we'll finish with that. We'll say I am the owner of the business, but I also, Puta, go and get involved in the work of the bakery. I also provide my physical mental effort, which is called labor. Owner provides his or her own labor. Owner provides his or her own labor. But the owner doesn't take a salary. Owner doesn't take wages from the business. So there's no monetary payment for the owner. But owner is providing a valuable physical, mental effort, the owner's labor. But on the other hand, Puta, instead of working in my own bakery, if I had gone and worked in a restaurant, if I had gone and worked in a hotel as a chef or a pastry chef or something like that, if I have that skill, I mean, I could have earned a good salary, no? The salary I could have earned and I'm foregoing is my foregone income for providing my labor for my own business. So remember, there are two kinds of inputs we use in production. Outside inputs, there is a money cost on those, which is part of the total opportunity cost or total production cost, right? And there are sometimes own inputs we use in production. Those don't have a money cost. We don't pay anyone, but they have a what income? Foregone income. Foregone income. So both areas are relevant for total opportunity cost. Remember, opportunity cost, total opportunity cost, especially in production, total cost of production, total opportunity cost of production includes the money cost as well as the foregone income. Money cost and the foregone income. Any questions? Remember, we will learn in detail in Unit 4. For now, any questions? In the beginning, I told you guys I'll have to spend a bit of time with the characteristics. This is the foundation, Puta. We have to learn these things properly. Any questions? No? Are we clear, Puta? Then we are okay, yeah? Right. Goods with opportunity cost or economic goods. There are situations of zero opportunity cost. We will learn those. Right. Can I just touch on this? Being positive. We say whenever there is an opportunity cost, right? So I'm going to just write it this way and finish it off. Okay. It's very simple. I don't want you guys to overthink. I'll give a small thing to remember also there. An easy way to remember. Right. Now, if there is an opportunity cost, if any activity has an opportunity cost, then we say opportunity cost is positive. So the word positive is to give the meaning. There is actually, we are giving up something. So there is an opportunity cost. When I want to say something has an opportunity cost, I say opportunity cost is positive. I would say opportunity cost is positive. The use of that English word is in that way. Okay. Whenever there is an opportunity cost, because we are actually giving up something, Buddha, we say opportunity cost is positive. There is an opportunity cost. So when someone says opportunity cost is positive, what are they saying? There is an opportunity cost. I'll give a simple analogy for you to remember, right? Something to help you remember. Now remember that mosquito family and what they did then before the mosquito family, before that other student, what he or she did then mosquito family, and then the infant was infected, no, but infant would have had a fever and all that. So when the parents rushed the baby to the hospital, infant to the hospital, the doctor would have just done some basic observation and said, okay, let's do a dengue antigen blood test. Correct? Right. So since the infant had the dengue virus in the body, in the bloodstream, the report would have said what? Dengue antigen report would have said, what is the word the report would have used? To say that the virus is there, what would have been the word? To say the virus is there, what would be the word the report used? Come on. Yes, very good. The report would have said positive. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Now, that doesn't mean when the report says positive, you don't get a yes, positive. No. That means the virus is there. Similarly, Buddha, when there is an opportunity cost, what is the word we use? We say opportunity cost is positive. Opportunity cost is positive. That's it. Done. I think we are very good with the features. Am I thinking right, or is my thinking wrong? Yeah? No. The responses are suffering from diminishing returns, right? Keep it up. I want more responses. I think we are very clear with the features. Yes, of course, you will read the notes and go through it one more time, right? And be comfortable with it. But overall, I think we are good. I think we are good with the features. Yeah. Okay. Characteristics. Are we okay with that? Yes. All of you guys have responded, right? If there's someone who is still shy to respond, problem. Okay. Right. Yeah. Let's move on then. Recipe for opportunity cost. Before that, I want to just finish quickly going through this. So I've explained opportunity cost is not only limited at that whole externality story, mosquito story, dengue story, right? Further features, yep, everything is covered. Then we are going to focus a bit more on in economic goods anyway, Naputa, so no need to talk too much, right? Recipe for opportunity cost. Since maybe we talked about fish bun and, all those things, right? Food items, no? So I'll use the term recipe, right? What is the recipe for opportunity cost? When you're making a cake, or I don't know, always buy cake. When you're making soup called soup, okay, soup called opportunity cost, right? If opportunity cost is your favorite dish, I hope it will be. What are the ingredients? What do you need to put into it to make it a really good opportunity cost dish? Where someone would take a spoon and take a bite and say, good opportunity cost. What do you need for opportunity cost to be really good, well created? There are certain ingredients. There are certain components required. What are they? Opportunity cost is created as an immediate. Very good. Brilliant. I'm getting some responses. Very good. Yes, Akila, you are correct. That's one thing, right? Shera, correct. Yes, brilliant. That is one thing. And you have given everything, right? Brilliant. Anyone else? Just contribute. Yes, don't worry about that, right? Yes, Akila, yes, correct. Yes, that's the immediate reason. Anyone else who would like to contribute? I'm purposely not reading it out loud so that I'm giving opportunity for anyone to contribute to this. What are the ingredients or components of the recipe for opportunity cost? Yeah, right. Here we go. So basically, the opportunity cost is an immediate result of, immediate outcome of making a choice or facing a trade-off. Okay. When we make a choice, the immediate opportunity cost is an immediate outcome of making a choice. but that choice has to be a trade-off or a choice that is something we have to make, a must make. It is created. Why is a choice becoming a essential trade-off, problem of choice, unavoidable choice? We use all these words, no? What makes choice unavoidable is, as some of you guys have very clearly said, scarce resources with alternative uses. So the combination, the flow is very simple. We have, every society faces scarce resources, resources which are limited in comparison to unlimited human wants. We can simply call it relative scarcity. So we have relative scarcity. We don't have enough resources to produce all the goods and services we want to fulfill our wants, because our wants are unlimited. Scarce resources. Those scarce or limited resources have alternative uses, competing ends. So scarce resources plus alternative uses, we come to equals problem of choice, unavoidable trade-off, essential trade-off. To get one, give up something. So now we have a problem of choice. When we face that problem of choice and make a choice, immediately we have opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is the value foregone from the second or the next best alternative, or the value of the next or the second best alternative foregone when making a choice, when making an economic choice, or when we must make a choice. Is that clear? Right, done. So you guys can quickly draw this here. I'll take you to the slides. Yeah, virtual whiteboard, no? That's what we like to call it. Right. So relative scarcity plus alternative uses equals, I'm using the bracket, so equals problem of choice. When you face this choice, when you make this choice or trade-off, you end up with opportunity cost. Right. Can you guys get this done, please? Quickly, without just a sketch for now, right? Later on at home, you can decorate it and make it nice with the colors, right? For now, just a sketch, quickly get it done, and let me know if you're done. Just say done. Okay, you can unmute the microphone and say done. If not, use the group chat and say done. Then I can go to the next area, right? Right, brilliant. All of you are done and done quickly. Now, our next area is situations of zero opportunity cost. But if opportunity cost is created, okay, opportunity cost is created with a combination of relatively scarce resources. Okay, that's the first thing. Then alternative users. Okay, alternative users. And then we have to make a choice, isn't it? We have to have a trade-off. We make a choice. So when these three elements are there, when these three boxes are ticked, it leads to opportunity cost. When you remove one of these, there would not be an opportunity cost, even though there is a certain consumption we are doing. We are talking about a certain use of certain goods, or maybe a certain activity, but that consumption production activity may not have an opportunity cost as long as these elements are not there. Okay, what I'm trying to do is give you an easier way to find the logic for situations of zero opportunity cost. And another small thing, when opportunity cost is there, right? If there is an opportunity cost, if opportunity cost is present, right? We say, when opportunity cost is there, we use the word, remember, positive. We say positive. In situations where there is no opportunity cost, so we'll say opportunity cost is present. If opportunity cost is absent, there is no opportunity cost, right? If there is no opportunity cost, what we do is, right? What we do is basically we use the term. What we do is basically we use the term, right? Right, I'm very sorry. We use the term, we don't say now, someone can think, okay, if opportunity cost is there, we say positive. If opportunity cost is not there, we are going to say negative. No, that's the catch here. We simply say zero. What is the term? We say zero opportunity cost. Okay, don't say opportunity cost is negative. That gives a different meaning. Okay, because mathematically when we estimate opportunity cost values for the, because it's a cost, it comes as a negative value. So we don't say opportunity cost is negative when opportunity cost is not there. We call it zero. Okay, be clear. Right, let's look at the situations. The first situation, you guys can write this also along with my explanation. And I've given a small explanation in your study material. You can go through that. It will be very clear for you. Right? First one, please write the presence or existence of free goods. I want you to add something to this. Presence or existence of free goods. We'll say or non-economic goods. Free goods are also called non-economic goods. Okay, we are about to learn about them, right? Yeah, we will touch on that, but for now, non-economic goods or free goods, right? Done. Right now, but the key thing about free or non-economic goods is, I'll just make it very simple for you, because later on when we go into detail and learn about economic goods or non-economic goods, this will be very clear for you. So there is no point in repeating work. No, in economics we are in a world of scarcity. We have to be efficient, remember, right? So no point in repeating this. So because we are learning about free goods, non-economic goods anyway, I'll just get to the point here. I'm sure it will make sense. I'll just change the color. I don't know, for some reason. Right. Now, when it comes to free or non-economic goods, the key feature is they are unlimited in supply, because these are mostly, they are more or less natural things, naturally created goods, naturally created resources. So their supply is unlimited. The moment you see this word unlimited, you realize the very first requirement. What is the first requirement for opportunity cost to be created? What is the first element of the recipe? What is the first thing for opportunity cost to be created? We have to have a situation of relative scarcity. If the free goods or non-economic goods are unlimited in supply, yes, that means they are not relatively scarce. If relative scarcity is not there, opportunity cost cannot be there. Is that clear? Relatively scarce resources with alternative uses leading to a problem of choice creates opportunity cost. When you remove scarcity, when the resources are unlimited, you don't need to make choices. You can use all the alternatives and you can produce all the alternatives because you have enough resources. So there is no choice, there is no opportunity cost. Why is there no choice here? It's because the supply is unlimited. Supply is unlimited. Okay? Right. Is that good enough? Are we okay? Okay, we will learn separately. But are we clear? Ladies, gentlemen? Yes? Okay, good. Please respond to that. Remember, don't make me keep saying this. Right. Good. Then number 2. Please write number 2. The use of single-use factors or capital goods. Use of single-use factors or capital goods. And I want you to give a bit of importance to this word here. That is use. Use of single-use factors. Okay. We are not talking about making them, producing them. We are, okay, the stylize, right, use of single-use factors. Right. So what are single-use factors? While you guys write it, I'll start the explanation. What are single-use factors? Basically, these are any good, any capital asset or something like that, that has only one practical purpose, only one practical use. There's nothing else we can do with them. Is that clear? So we say single-use factor, only one practical use. What does that mean? That simply means when we, now I'll take some example, then this becomes easy. If you take something like a bridge, what is the purpose or the usefulness of a bridge? Why do we have a bridge? What does a bridge do? Right? The job of the bridge is to basically, right? I know it's an ugly looking bridge, but the job of the bridge is, right? Water. Right. The job of the bridge is to take people, animals, vehicles, no, from one side to the other. Yes, that is the job of the bridge. We build a bridge for that simple purpose. A bridge does not have any alternative uses. So if look at the virtual whiteboard or the screen, no alternative uses, right? If alternative uses are eliminated, that means even though the resource is scarce, if there are no alternative uses, there is no need to make a choice. No choice meaning no opportunity cost. When someone uses a bridge for the only purpose it is meant for, only use it can offer, when we use a bridge, we are not sacrificing anything else, because there are no other alternatives. There's no second best, next best. No choice, no alternative. The only one thing we can do with it. So then there is no opportunity cost. But remember, it is when we use single use factors. That's the key. Okay. Because to construct the bridge, to build the bridge, there is an opportunity cost. Why? The resources, the money that was spent to build the bridge, the government could have built a hospital. Government could have built a school. Government could have given, imported a petrol shipment, right? So there is an opportunity cost to build the bridge, but there is no opportunity cost when you use the bridge. Single use factor. Another good example is, I don't know whether I can draw this properly, right? Another good example is, right? Maybe I'm doing it wrong. I think it's correct, right? Another good example is, right, what we call, right? Any idea what this is? Right? Sometimes it has a circle-like thing here. Any idea what it is? Right? And it has a, chain like this. It's a big bulky thing made out of metal. Any idea what it is? Some have, they go both ways. Yeah, that is what is confusing you, I think. Otherwise, you would have answered. Right. I'll stop drawing. I'll stop doing things I can't do. Right. What is it? Yes, very good. Thank God. Shera, thank God. Right. At least one of you guys have picked up on it. I'm not that horrible then. Yes, more people. Right. Thank God. It's an anchor. Right. I drew it wrong, Put. I'm sorry. Right. Okay. If you take an anchor of a big ship, what is the only job given to the anchor? The job of the anchor is to, I don't know any other way to say this. Job of the anchor is to anchor the ship. Keep the ship in one place when the ship is in the, when the big ship is in the ocean, to keep it in one place, right? You drop anchor, meaning you land the anchor, it hits the ground, it stays, it's very big, heavy metal thing. It will give a certain, a way to keep the ship in one place. And Buddha, for as far as I understand, an anchor doesn't have alternative uses. No? Only job of the anchor is to anchor the ship. So when you use the anchor for that purpose, there is no opportunity cost because there are no alternative uses. A ship anchor, a bridge, electricity generator, okay, a potter's wheel, that thing that goes round and round when they make clay pots, how they get the shape and all that, right? So that is a potter's wheel. Potter's wheel, ship anchor, bridge, electricity generator. These things don't have alternative uses. So when we use them for the purpose they are meant to be used, there is no opportunity cost. Clear? Are we okay? Make sense? Right. Then the third scenario. Good. Excellent. Keep responding. Very important. Third scenario. Okay. Third scenario is, let me clear this a bit for you guys. Right. The use of underutilized or unemployed, we like this word, unemployed resources. The concept is called general unemployment. Here the word general meaning all resources. Okay, all resources, unemployed. Unemployment of all resources. The word general is that common unemployment. Okay. So, right, once you are done with that, the basic idea is, Pata, if all the land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, in other words, all the resources or inputs used in producing a certain good or service was previously unemployed, unused for any, it was not used for any economic activity. It was idling, just kept aside, we'll say, then, but then there is no opportunity cost. The reason why there is no opportunity cost is, again, there is no foregone benefit or there is no sacrifice made. I'll take a simple and a quick example. We'll say we'll say in your neighborhood, right? In your neighborhood, okay, your neighborhood, right? You have your houses and all that. There is this piece of land, Putta, in your neighborhood. There is this, we'll say, piece of land, right? Something like this. This is unoccupied. Nothing is built on it. You know, it's just left a bare land, right? The owners are not in the country or something. So what you guys do is you normally go in and play in this piece of land with your neighborhood friends and all that. So we'll say a bunch of you guys get together, decide one day, let's clean this piece of land, right? To clean the piece of land, you need certain equipment and things like that. So from each of your houses, those equipments are unused, just kept aside. You bring those, you know, the necessary equipments and you fully nicely clean the land, right? And who is doing this? You are doing this. The labor is from your side. Physical, mental effort is from your side. And you guys are also not working, no, not economically employed, no. So you're also unemployed. So you're unemployed. Then the equipment you're using are unused, right? So still we are using unused or underutilized or unemployed things. So then you clean the land and everything nicely. Then one of your friends says, neighborhood friend says, I have at my house, there are some white, cans or tins of paint that we brought to color wash our house, left over. We are not using, we have just kept it aside. We can use that. So there is some paint you can use, unused, right? Just idling. Then another person says, at my house, there's this net-like thing, a mesh-like thing. There's a big roll. We bought it for a purpose. We only used half of it. The other half, we have just kept it aside. We are not using. I can give it. So unused, idling, the mesh or the net. Then another friend says, at my house, there are some these steel tubes, pipes, like things are there. Another person has, maybe the father is having a iron workshop, right? So there is a extra additional welding plant, rods and all that, unused, kept aside, idling, right? Not used in the shop, kept aside. So all these, you understand, because these inputs are there. Then another person says, I know how to do the welding and all that work I know how to do. So you bring all that, get together and cut and weld and, you know, paint and do everything. And what you guys do is very nicely with your effort, you know, one person can take the initiative, can take the leadership. So that person is being the entrepreneur who is also unemployed, and you guys nicely plant those steel tubes, you know, and create a net kind of a thing, use that net, and you have a net here also, right? And basically you create yourself a very nice badminton court. You have a small door-like thing here, right? Right, a badminton court, right? Now you have used land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, you use a lot of inputs, but remember all of the inputs were unemployed, not being used. So they are not sacrificing anything. There is no foregone benefit. Therefore, we argue there is no opportunity cost. You guys use it. When you guys don't use it, maybe you have a friend whose house is just in front of this, so you tell that person, if other kids in the other neighborhoods want to come and play some badminton or whatever, you rent it for them at a reasonable price. You rent it and they also come and use it. Get what I'm saying? Well, you have created economic good, but you have done it using unemployed resources. All the resources are unemployed, so there is no opportunity cost, no foregone benefit. Now, we'll say among your friends, there was a bit of a person 2-3 years elder to you who is also in the neighborhood, who plays with you, and you know, can happen, no, different ages. So that Aya or Aki will say is working. If they get excited that you guys are doing this project and they are very passionate and they quit their job and come and work, or they don't go to their job for 1 or 2 days, and because of that they get a salary cut or something, they lose income, then of course, Puta, the whole activity now has an opportunity cost because there's a foregone benefit, foregone salary, foregone wages. So all the resources unemployed, meaning there is no opportunity cost. That is the meaning of the term general unemployment. Are we clear? Right? Later on in the next chapter of Unit 1, we learn an area called production possibilities boundary. There we learn that we can show general unemployment using a production possibility boundary as well. That is later. For now, basic concept. Are we clear? Are we okay? Yes? The example was effective. You guys are clear? Right? Now we know the three situations of zero opportunity cost. What are three situations of zero opportunity cost? Basically, use of free goods, right? Or non-economic goods. Then secondly, we say what? The use of single-use goods or single-use capital goods, capital assets. And thirdly, the use of underutilized or unemployed resources. General unemployment. All resources should be unemployed. Then we don't have opportunity cost. Are we clear about that? Right. Very simple. Read the notes. You will be okay. Now what I want to do is get you guys to write the note for economic goods very quickly. Then I can give you, while you write the note, I can give you a bit of a brief on that, brief idea on that. Then if you read it next week, we can complete the entire area as well. Right? I know we are taking a bit of time, but we are investing the time. Let's use that word rather than wasting. We'll use the word investing. We are investing a bit of time on critical, very key, important areas. Believe me when I say that with the experience, I'm telling you, these are the key areas that we need to learn properly. Then everything else becomes easy. Are we okay? Right. I hope you guys are clear on what we are doing. So let me bring on the note here. Right. So the economic problem, we are done. We have completed all 4 parts. So now we know how to talk about the economic problem. Okay. We have linked them as well. Right. Then let's write the note first on economic goods, sometimes called scarce goods, not scared goods. Right. Why don't you guys start? While you write, I will be saying certain things. So I hope I'm not disturbing you. Right. Quickly get it done, Puta. Write the note in page 28. First thing I just want to say is, while you guys are writing the note, so next week it will be a new month, if I'm not mistaken. So therefore has to be, right, a new month. So September. If any of your friends, schoolmates are planning to join our virtual classes as virtual students, then you can guide them and advise them. Hopefully, you can encourage them also to join the classes. But please do me a huge favor, and much as possible, talk to your friends, your schoolmates, and encourage them, Puta, to join as soon as possible, at least by next week. Because if they join by next week, right, you can actually take the links we have in your WhatsApp group for the YouTube videos that are there for the from 1.1 until 1. Hopefully until 1.6 at least. Maybe now until 1.7, 1.8, we will have this available. We will update the website definitely, but in the YouTube group, the WhatsApp group also, we would have the direct link for the YouTube videos. So you can share also and tell them to get in touch with the coordinator, give the number, Puta, and please do me and maybe your friend also a favor, your friends also a favor, 277 729. You guys know our number, no? Right? Ask them to get in touch, right? call the coordinator, send a WhatsApp message, and join classes and start learning at least from next week, next month. Because the more they wait, the more videos will get lined up, the more they will have to watch, the more they will have to cover, the more behind they will fall behind further. So it is for that purpose I'm encouraging you. Of course, I would also like to have more students in the class. That is good, but more than anything, you guys need to do this thing, because you can communicate with your friends more directly than me. We can only do it through other means. You need to convince them that I've been in the class, I'm learning, we have done these things, right? So why don't you also join, and join as soon as possible? That's the message. And always tell them nothing to worry about what they have missed, to worry about missing, but nothing to worry about what they have missed. Once they have joined the session, the recorded versions are there. They can have a small schedule at their own pace, but they can keep watching the recorded versions and complete their notes. Is that clear, Buddha? I hope you guys were listening, and I hope you guys will do this very nice thing to do as a friend, right? When you're in the right track, when you're doing something properly, and when you're achieving some success in terms of your learning, believe me, you guys you're learning things properly. That's key. So, Buddha, you can maybe, as a good friend, get others also into the same track, right? Okay, that's the message. Then economic goods, non-economic goods. The story is very simple, because in my area at 6 p.m. we are supposed to have our second installment of the power cut. So I'm a bit mindful on the time, but let's make this simple. If you guys are asked, what is the distinction? Remember that word we used. What is the exact difference between economic goods and non-economic goods? If I was asked, what is the exact difference between economic goods and non-economic goods, right? My answer would be, okay, economic goods versus non-economic goods. My answer would be, the distinction or the difference is all about one thing. If that goes into your head, everything else we can learn. It's all about opportunity cost. That's it. This is the concept. This is the basis for the difference between economic, non-economic, or free. Non-economic free is the same, no? Opportunity cost. Any good that has an opportunity cost in production is an economic good. Any good that does not have an opportunity cost is a zero opportunity cost, is a free good. Non-economic good. That's it. Economic goods have an opportunity cost. Free goods don't have an opportunity cost. Economic goods opportunity cost is positive. Free goods opportunity cost is, don't say negative, zero. That's it. Because without the moment we talk opportunity cost, who is behind opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is a very forward, happening, dynamic concept. Opportunity cost comes to the front. But there's another concept that is the reason that opportunity cost is there. Very shy concept, always in the background. You look over the shoulders of opportunity cost, you see this concept in the back. Who is that concept? That is very good. I'm getting some answers. Brilliant. Problem of choice. Yes. This concept is behind problem of choice also. This concept is the center of the entire story. Who is this mother of the concept? Nucleus of the concept. Yes, very good. Scarcity. Yes, that's the, concept in the background. The main thing, scarcity. So, if there is scarcity, right? Scarce resources, we know, right? When we use scarce resources, right? When scarcity is their use of, scarce will say resources, right? The use of, right? I'll quickly write it that way. It's 6 o'clock. Anyway, the use of scarce resources, of course, with alternative uses. But the key is for the scarce resources. When we use scarce resources, right, we will end up with opportunity cost. Economic goods are goods produced using scarce resources. So economic goods have an opportunity cost. Economic goods have an opportunity cost because economic goods are produced using what resources? Scarce resources, limited resources. You guys know that. Get it? Non-economic goods are not produced. Humans don't produce non-economic goods, free goods. They are created by nature. So non-economic goods do not use scarce resources, so they do not have an opportunity cost. That's why opportunity cost is the easiest thing to remember. It talks about the scarcity being there, scarce resources being used or not being used. Because we use scarce resources to produce economic goods are limited in supply. Because we don't use scarce resources to create, naturally the non-economic goods or free goods are not using scarce resources, they are unlimited in supply. They are unlimited in supply. Then comes the other features, and the feature that we never really focus on, and don't get ourselves confused, is we never say, Putra, economic goods have a price, free goods don't have a price. We don't go there. Because sometimes, just think of this, and with this food for thought, I'll finish today's session. Economic goods have a cost, opportunity cost. Economic goods have a price, but remember, economic goods may not always be given at a price. For charitable purposes, for welfare purposes, for promotional purposes, economic goods can be given free of charge. So just because you get a good free, that does not mean it is a free good or a non-economic good. It can still be an economic good. Free goods, anyway, you get free of charge. Non-economic goods, anyway, you get free of charge. They're natural things. But just because you get a good free of charge without a price, don't assume it's a free good or a non-economic good. Got it? Right. Are we done with the note, Puta? Yes, we are okay. Right. So now you have something to read, something to go through, get a basic idea from. Right? So I hope that is clear, and I hope the basic thing I gave about economic, non-economic goods are clear. And I hope you guys will deliver that message as a good friend to your schoolmates and classmates, and ensure anyone who is hoping to join, you encourage them and make sure they join by next week. Are we clear? Right? Are we okay? Done? Yes or no? Right. Brilliant. So with that, my intelligent students, let me conclude the class. So as always, let me wish all of you a very good night and productive week ahead. Keep up the good work. I'll see you guys next Friday. Right.